Hello, America, and welcome back to another episode of To Hear Me Tell It, the life and times of Jerry Daniels. When you've had your daily dose of today's craziness, dealing with all them Karens out there, ride shotgun with old JD as he goes back and recounts the life and times of growing up in the South during the 60s and 70s. I believe we were called baby boomers. Stories that you will say, yep, I done that, but I ain't gonna tell my kids. And I ain't never told my spouse. But whatever the truth be, it will be this, to hear me tell it. Well, good morning, folks, and welcome to another episode of To Hear Me Tell It. Let me begin with the most important stuff. Most important stuff is thank you to the folks that continue to stick with it. I appreciate it, man. I ain't kidding. And I hopefully I'll get better at this. But hell, I don't know. I'm getting older every day. Maybe I'll get worse at it. Who knows? But thank y'all. In particular, a shout out to Mike Posey, Christy Dunn, Joe Stitka, Bob Gherkin. Bob's in Massachusetts, by the way. He's a landscaper. He's a great American. Anyway, I don't have them written down, so I don't know. But if I didn't mention Mike Snyder, Gunnar Snyder, and there's a host of others who are regular listeners. I think Al Reader's somewhat regular. I think my boys have abandoned me, but that's okay. We're all busy. I get it. But anyway, thank y'all. I appreciate it very much. I go saying So for those that are listening to this just strictly on podcast, you don't see the video. But if you want to look at the video, then you can go to the YouTube channel To Hear Me Tell It, and then you can see the stuff. Because I'm going to try to get fancy and put some pictures. Like I'm going to put a picture right over here somewhere later after I do all the editing and whatnot. We'll see if I can figure this out. So thank y'all. It is the day of our Lord. Let me look at my calendar over there. Today is the 18th of June. The 18th of June. Man, has time flown by. Golly. Remember when we was little, be in school thinking days cannot go any longer or last any longer. Weeks couldn't be longer, and it seemed like it was forever for damn summer to get there. I mean, it was like, and remember how giddy we would be? Y'all remember this? I know y'all do. When we was little, summer would be almost over with, and, when I was small, summer was summer. You didn't go to school in June, July, or August. You started school in September, and then right at the end of May, it was over with. So that's just the way it was. I don't know how it got all mixed up, but maybe the teachers' union had something to do with it. Who knows? But at the end of summer, I can remember as a small boy in Butler, Georgia, the giddiness, I guess is the word. The giddiness. I don't know. And y'all comment, those that are going to watch this on YouTube, comment, because am I just out here by myself, or did anybody else have these? Not same, but did y'all have similar feelings and experiences when you was little? And I'm talking about, the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth grade or whatever. We was adolescents. We hadn't got our teenager hormones jumping around in us yet. But do y'all remember the feeling of the end of summer approaching? You could almost smell, depending upon the I guess the geographical location, but anyway, that's not the point. The point is I was excited. To go to the five and dime store in Butler, Georgia. And yes, we had a five and dime store. And back then I guess that was the dollar store, and it damn sure wasn't a dollar. It was called the five and dime. You could go up there and get stuff for a damn nickel. And for those that are young, y'all may not believe this. I don't think I have any young listeners. But to Christy, share this with your damn grandchildren. Mike Posey, share it with your grandchildren. Well, maybe not, because I cuss. Maybe, no, okay, scratch that. Don't be sharing this with no youngins. But anyway, I would get excited to go. I can't stay on track, but I'd get excited to go to the five and dime store, and the smell of the five and dime store. If I smelled it today, it would be instant memory jog. Like the same way if you walked into Mr. Matthews' country store over there on the other side of the courthouse square over there by Mr. Pennington's drugstore, John Pennington's drugstore, that the smell, those places all around the courthouse square had very unique smells. And I'm squirreling, got off track. But I remember going in the 5 and dime store, giddy at the end of summer, to buy my new school supplies. Now that was back in the day where buying the school supplies was not on the taxpayer's dime; that was on the mamas and the daddies. And it was also it was a days where teachers didn't run around asking for donations to buy stuff. I'm sorry, man, I swear again, but I have lost my damn cup of coffee. Ain't that a howdy do? I swear. All right, well, I'm going to have to make it without it. But I got busy. I got over here in the garage before I came upstairs to do this, and I squirreled. I said, "Oh, I saw something," and I got on it and fixed it, and then I came on up. So I've somewhere, I don't know where, but I've lost my damn coffee cup, and it had coffee in it. That's a damn howdy do. But I remember getting giddy and buying the book satchel, and I remember, who knows what they were made out of. They probably weren't made in China either. But I remember buying the book satchel, and it had the handle, and then it had the shoulder strap. And we didn't have backpacks back then, guys. Nobody had backpacks. They had book satchels, and they had those buckles. And I remember as a small boy, I was intrigued, and I was fascinated, I guess. But I just loved. Maybe it was because they were shiny. Hell, who knows? But I loved the buckles that were on there. And then I remember who remembers buying this thing? And I wished I had one. I'm going to find one. I want to find one. But it was a little plastic case about, 12 inches long. And it had a little tray, and it had a sliding top that you could slide back and forth. It was a ruler. You could put pencils. We didn't have pens back then, but you could put multiple, probably like 4 or 5 pencils in there. And then on the top of it, it had this like little piggyback hump on it, and it was a pencil sharpener. So all encased was a storage thing for some pencils and a pencil sharpener, and it had a ruler on it, and you can bet your happy ass there wasn't no metrics on it. It was just standard, fraction stuff. All right. But I remember getting excited about that. And then usually, depending upon who you were, you may have got some new clothes. I remember at the end of the summer, we would have a family reunion, and it would be we had several actually, but I remember, and I talked about this in one of my other podcasts, but I remember the excitement and to feel like it was damn near Christmas when we would go to family reunions, and the mothers, the trunk of the cars would be open, and all the moms would be doing the hand-me-down swap. And I would get blue jeans from 2 of my cousins that were particularly older, and they really wasn't first cousins, they were second cousins, maybe even third cousins, I don't know. But it was Doug and Greg Giles from Macon, Georgia. And Doug and Greg were older, and Aunt Millie and Uncle John, which were cousins, but Aunt Millie and Uncle John, because John and Mama were first cousins, so I guess he was my second cousin. Doug and Greg were third cousins. So anyway, but they would swap, and I'd get their damn blue jeans, and Mama would have to roll the cuff up on the bottom and then put them big-ass patches. You know what I'm talking about? You'd buy them at the clothing store. We'd go over to the Bones clothing store, which I don't know if it was called Bones clothing store, but there was a fabric shop over there. And she'd buy these patches. And the sons of bitches was about that big, and it was hard, man. It was crusty. And Mama would iron those into the knees to fix them, and then that would be new jeans. So I was excited because I got new clothes. So anyway, how did I get on this? Oh, I looked at the damn calendar over there, and I thought, boy, time is flying. Well, it is. All right, time's flying. And then I'd get excited when the school year ended. So I was excited when it started, and then I was excited when it ended. So, all right, second thing. Let me check this. This wasn't on my list, but I'm looking at my list now. All right, y'all heard me talk about last week about Laura doing the decluttering and throwing shit away. Y'all, look what I found. It's here. I found it. And I want to tell y'all something. I don't know if y'all are like me, and I hope you're not, but I laid in bed for multiple nights thinking I could not have thrown that away. I'm not the throw. I mean, I've got to be bad. I got to be show enough positive that I ain't gonna need it. And I just, it was like a damn, it was like a broken heart. It just killed me. And I was thinking, I couldn't have thrown that away. There's no way. It was too nice. And I got to laying in bed, and I thinking and thinking and thinking. And I told y'all, I spent over an hour looking for this thing. That had a cool sound to it. I ain't gonna do that again. But anyway, I couldn't find it. And I spent all that time looking for it, y'all. And I was laying in bed, and all of a sudden it went. I said, aha, I know where it is. I know exactly where it is. And I kid y'all not, I almost said shit you not, but I kid y'all not, I when I woke up, and I don't know if I dreamed it or not. Who knows? It may have been a dream. But when I woke up that morning, I got up, I told my wife, I said, I know where that microphone holder is. And I walked straight to it. And I had put it, get this now, I had put it, not in the box that it belonged in, and I still got that box, but I put it in a box that had all these TV parts in it. Go figure. And I knew exactly where that box was, and I went and found it. So I'm tickled pink. I'm pretty excited. All right. So there we go. Hey, Mike Posey's home. Mike Posey's home. He's recovering, and Mike has shared a lot of things with me, and I learned from everybody. But he shared a lot of things with me about the emotions and the things he feels recovering from a stroke, and I appreciate it, Mike. I thank you, and I'll continue to pray for you. But as we get older, our friends, we start to share things with us. But anyway, I just I pray to God I never have to experience that. I do. I pray to God that you get over it immediately. And I guess it's beyond the word humbling. It's different to hear somebody close and personal sharing something and exactly what they feel. And I guess it's impactful. That's the word I'm looking for. It's impactful. So thank you, Mike. And brother, again, I pray for you, and I hope you recover immediately. So, all right. I'm wearing my Navy hat today, and I'm wearing, can y'all see this? Let me get over here. You can't see it. Anyway, it's the shirt from the USS Mitcher, Mitschcher. That's a German spelling, Mitcher. And you can't see it, but back here, where's my thing? Back here, oh, this is hard. That's the bottom of a picture of the USS Mitcher. Great destroyer, served on board her, was a command master chief on the Mitcher, was an honor and a privilege to serve with some mighty fine U.S. sailors. Great guys. All right. So it's a DDG. The whole number's 57. You want to Google it, you can. DDG 57 USS Mitcher. And if you're the reading type and you want to read a really good book, I may have loaned it to somebody. I'm looking at my bookshelf over yonder. But if you're reading type and you want to read a good book that's full of good history, American history, special naval aviation history, is read the book The Magnificent Mitcher. The Magnificent Mitcher. Read that book. That's a great book, y'all. And you can see over this shoulder over here, right there, it says 75th year, a proud heritage. I bought that poster at the air show, the Navy air show in Pensacola in the 80s when the Navy was celebrating its 75th year anniversary. Don't know exactly what year it was, but I was in VP 44. We flew an aircraft down there, and I'm going to guess and say it was probably I don't know, 80, 85, 86, something like that. Who knows? Anyway, and that was a unique air show. I'm going to get off path here. I went to the Naval Air Show. I was not married yet. I was a second class petty officer. I was a U.S. Navy combat naval air crewman, and had earned my gold wings. Was flying not as a pilot, combat naval air crew. I was an aerial photographer and in-flight weapons tech on a P3 Orion, a Charlie Update 3. And we flew a P3 down to Pensacola for the air show. for static display. Static display just means what it is. It sits there and you open the door and you let people walk through, and you have people at different stations in the aircraft, and you can tell people what was going on. And Mama and Daddy came down to the air show, and they brought my brother Stephen, and they brought my grandmama, my mama's mama, Grandmama Blanche Meadows. She was Urshrey and from Bleckley County, which was originally at one point Pulaski County, Georgia. Pulaski County was big, and then at some point it shrunk down, and they split it, and half of Pulaski became Bleckley. And maybe that's another podcast. I don't know. But the mom and daddy had come to the air show, brought Stephen, and brought grandmama. And before we left, my crew, before we left Brunswick, Maine to fly all the way to Pensacola, Florida to do the static display, it was probably about a day or two before we left. Two Royal Air Force, obviously Britain, from the UK, but two Royal Air Force Harriers, attack jets, landed to refuel at our Naval Air Station, Brunswick, Maine, which has been decommissioned, which is sad. But two of those Royal Air Force jets landed, and they were brand new. I mean, they had like minimum flight hours on them. And they were flying, of course, and if you look at the globe, because it's round, but you can go like way north of arc, and you can toot without having to do all this in-flight refueling. And they flew to Brunswick, got gas, and then they made their way down, the East Coast to and crossed and then to the peninsula, and went over to the Pensacola, which sits right there in the Gulf of America, So I saw these two jets, and then sure enough, we get down there in Pensacola, Florida, and those two jets are there, and those jets were there to do a aerial display. So they're kind of like the Blue Angels things, but they flew a flight demonstration. And then when they were flying this flight demonstration, they had a narrator, and he was up at the main stand, and he was talking and giving all the specs about the capabilities and the characteristics and the flight dynamics of the Harrier. And anyway, so during that flight demonstration, I think they did it on both days, but I don't know if it was the first day or the second day, and I haven't researched it, so I don't remember. But me, Mama, and Daddy, my brother Stephen, and Grandmama, I got them a special pass, and we were sitting in the stands watching this British Harrier do this thing. He's putting on a show, and to watch a Harrier fly back those days, that was the first really true vertical takeoff jet. Anyway, and the Harrier was doing his thing, man, and it was cool, y'all. It was cool. And when he gets done with this whole thing, the Harrier comes back, and he's over the not the runway, but he's kind of over the ramp, the ramp area, the taxiway, not the ramp. He's over the taxiway, and he's hovering and he's doing his thing, and he's doing all that stuff. And the narrator's up there with a microphone. He said, and he takes a bow, and he bows the nose of the jet down, and then he takes, and he just goes over, and he comes back around to land on the runway. And the old boy forgot to put his landing gear down, and he just, bam, man, he slammed that jet, and thank goodness he wasn't going fast, but he slammed that jet, no landing gear, onto that damn runway, and just began to slide and fodding the engines, and he goes off the runway, and he keeps going into the grass, and then he's really fodding the engines. You see the canopy fire off, and he doesn't eject the seat, he just fires off the canopy. So that was good thinking. So boom, the canopy leaves, and the jet comes to a stop. Damn, generator's obviously still going, so he's still got strobe lights flashing. Maybe it run on battery power, I don't know much about them. But he climbs out, runs about 30, 40, 50 feet away from the jet, takes his helmet off, throws it on the ground, kicks his helmet a couple of times, and my grandmama looks at me and she goes, "My, that's exciting. Was he supposed to do that?" I said, "No, Grandmama, he was not." So anyway, see, I digress. That wasn't even on my damn list either. All right. And already I'm at 19 minutes. I apologize. And I got to get these shorter. I've got to. for a couple of reasons. One is because of respect for y'all, and the second reason is it takes a long time to download, upload, and edit all this stuff. So I got to get better. The bees are doing fine. I had a swarm. I don't know if I told y'all that or not, but I had a swarm recently, and I couldn't stop them. A buddy of mine was here. His name's Brendan Sullivan. So Brendan was here, and he actually got to watch it. I go, well, you don't. Not many people get to watch a swarm take place. So I watched a hive, and you got about 20% of your bees at the front door flying in a big circle. It's loud. They're pooping everywhere. They're pooping. So if you stand in the midst of it, you'll get these little yellow droplets all over you, and they're in a big circle. It's like flying a pattern, and either the queen is or is not in the pattern. I don't know that. I'm not that smart enough about bees, but all of a sudden, whoosh, they went up about 40 feet away, and they clustered in a tree, and I thought, this is great. I'll get a swarm box out. I'll spray my Swarm Commander bait on it, and then I'll get 2 pieces of metal. I'll get 2 pieces of metal, and I'll tang them down. Well, the tanging didn't work. I couldn't get them to get back in the hive, and it didn't work. So I thought, well, snap. So I waited the next day, and I went in the hive to see how many queen cells they had made, because the swarm left. And lo and behold, I had 18 queen cells, and 4 had already hatched out of that 18. And I thought, golly, boy, that's a lot of queen cells. So I looked, but there was a lot of bees in there. And I couldn't find a queen, but I could hear a queen. Now, somebody may say, well, Jerry, how the hell do you hear a queen? Well, she pipes. It's called piping. And it's a sound they make, and it sounds like a baby crying. Like that. Anyway, but I could hear a queen piping, but I couldn't find her, because a young queen is very difficult to find. She hadn't fattened up. She hasn't mated. She doesn't really stand out. You got to really have good eyes to find an unmarked, unmated new queen, because she ain't big yet. So I thought, shit almighty, man. So I got a little frustrated, and I remember, and I had just robbed their honey like less than a week before that. So the bees are stressed, to say the least. So I got a hive that's recently swarmed and lost 80% of their honey, and they were a little feisty. And I ripped out, because I told y'all I found 18 queen cells, 4 that had hatched, and I heard a queen, but I couldn't find her. So I said, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to rip out, obviously, the 4 that had hatched. I got those out. And then the remaining, I ripped them all out, but I left 2. And I left them strategically mid to high frame cells, and I ripped off all the bottom cells. They don't usually produce well. So I ripped those out, usually because they can't stay hot enough, or I don't know. I just read it. It said they usually don't do well. Somebody a lot smarter than me says, if you're going to cut out queen cells and leave 1 or 2, pick the ones that are high or mid-frame. Mid-frame is best, and then get rid of the other ones. So I did. So I left 2, and then I waited. Anyway, so while I was doing this, I got stung. It's either 10 or 11 times. And I put a video on Facebook, and the last thing was on my knee through my sweatpants as I was bending down taking a video of the front porch. So I waited a couple of days, and I said, I got to go back in there, and I gotta make sure that I got to find a queen, and I need to find a queen, and if I do find her, I need to make an assessment if those other 2 cells that I left had hatched. So I got in there. They're still pissed off, and I found 2 new queen cells. In addition to the 2 that I left, I found 2 new ones that were not, actually I found 3. I found 3 queen cells that were in the making, meaning they haven't drawn them all the way out, but they had larvae, and they were feeding them royal jelly. So I said, I can't allow this. It's going to mess up production, not honey, but brood production so much. So I ripped those 2 out, kept looking. Boom, I found the queen. Got excited, like, yeah. She had a little size on her, and there was a lot of young larvae, and the sun wasn't right, so it's really hard, especially with my eyes, to see if I had eggs. I thought I saw eggs, so I'm going to be pretty confident that queen had actually flown and mated, and she's back and she's laying. So I went ahead and I cut the other two the other queen cells out. I cut them out. So now that hive has a queen, and they've already gone through their swarm. They've got some honey. I left them honey, and they're rocking and rolling, man. But they're still pissed. So in that episode, I got stung another about 10 or 11 times. My arm, you can see it. Let me get it right. My arm is eat up all right here, multiple stings, down here, multiple stings, right here, multiple stings. This arm, you can't see it, which is probably a good thing, but man, I got stung here. I got stung there. I got stung somewhere down there. But that's part of it. And you, the listener or the watcher, may say, well, damn, Jerry, why don't you wear a bee suit? I had a bee suit on. But let me tell you, when the hive is that stressed and they get on you, and what happened like on this arm, right here, in particular, right here, I had a suit on. I mean, I had a bee suit on, cotton. And once one gets on it and gets in there and stings, and then she rips a stinger off, then the pheromones start spraying. And when they're that stressed, and I was smoking them, I was smoking the dog crap out of them. But when they're that stressed, before I could even blink an eye, I had like 50 bees clustered right here, and they were all trying to sting through that suit. And then it got to the point where I'm just like that, right? Boom, boom, boom. While I'm killing them, and then I'm spraying more pheromones. I got the smoker. I'm smoking myself. Finally, I had to walk away. So anyway, other than that, bees are doing good. So I may try to take honey next week. And if I do, it's going to be minimum. And then I'm going to have to start feeding them, and I'll feed them all the way through the rest of June, July, August, until the next nectar flow, and we'll get through dearth. All right, so check off bees. Chickens. Chickens doing great. The girls are doing wonderful. It's hilarious to watch them. Basically, I got two flocks that live in the same place, and the big girls, which are almost 14 weeks old, and the younger girls are 5 weeks younger than them. They coexist, and the big girls still show the little girls who's bossing the house. And Jasper is truly Jasper. I'm convinced. I don't care what nobody says. That old boy, he lights off in the morning. I watched him this morning on the camera. He lights off. Daybreak, he is crowing. Now, he's in the coop, but he is letting everybody know he's the kingpin, and he's crowing. And then once he gets out and then in the run, he stops. He don't crow no more. So, but he's crowing, I guarantee you that. But they're doing well. They're healthy. I clean the coop once a week. And if you would have asked me when I was a young man, Jerry, at the age of 63, do you ever think you'd be on your hands and knees in a hot-ass chicken coop with a dust mask on, sifting through special grade sand, picking up chicken shit? I would have said, no way. But here I am. All right. So y'all follow me on this because I'm keeping track. I keep a record of everything that's going on, because I was told when Jasper first started crowing, I was told by someone who's a lot smarter than me and more experienced than me about chickens and roosters. She said, that's impossible. Roosters don't crow that early. I'm like, well, mine does. Well, no, that's not a rooster. That's just and I said, well, okay, well, I got videos. It's crowing. So Jasper was crowing. I'm not kidding y'all. Jasper was crowing at 8 weeks old. He'd already had his and he was crowing. So, all right, let me see. Oh, and I've made the mistake, and maybe it's a rookie mistake, but I want to give him some freedom. So when I got about 10 or 15, 20 minutes to spare, I'll open the run and I let them out in the yard. And because they're always worried about their own safety, they tend to run under the Leyland pines. So I had to trim under all my Leyland pines so I can keep my damn eyes on them. But they get under there and they scratch, and and I'm sure they're finding all sorts of kind of bugs. But they get under there, and then they start getting closer to the woods. And I'm like, we ain't going in the woods, and I'm not chasing chickens out of the woods. First of all, y'all gonna be got by something. And I mentally have prepared myself, especially when I'm wearing flip flops. I said, if a fox or a coyote was to grab one of them and haul ass in them woods, I ain't chasing it. It's just gonna be gone. So I'm doing prevention and keeping them out of the woods. So I'm keeping them up close to the house. But the other day, matter of fact, it was yesterday, I let him out, and Jasper, you know, he'll flex his manhood, and his neck feathers go. They spread out like some of them damn dinosaurs. But Jasper's neck feathers, boy, they get all jacked up, and he I don't know how he does it, but he gets them going, and he gets his back up like that, and he puts his chest out, and his tail's all erect, and he does that, and then he ran up to this one chicken, and I don't know what the issue was because I don't speak chicken language, but something happened, and it was one of them damn sapphire gems, the ones that Laura don't like, that's got the mohawk and she calls them crazy eyes. But Jasper jumped on that damn hen, and buddy, he grabbed her by the damn neck and put it in the dirt, and I mean squabbling. He let go. He had her for like 3 to 5 seconds. Finally, he let go of her. I guess he was just going to go, you need to know something. So anyway, I ain't seen him try to get up on that thing yet. But the girls are definitely, their hormones, so they're getting their lady parts because their faces are all turning bright red. And I've given them access to one nesting box, but here in 3 to 4 weeks, I'm going to give them access to all nesting boxes and see if they're ready to start. So, all right, I want to put a plug in. This is a promotion commercial. I want to put a plug in. If you have not, I have a webpage that is www.epteradrones.com. www.epteradrones.com. That's our business website, and we are a aerial imaging business. That's what we do. So I'm an aerial videographer. I'm not going to consider myself a professional, but we do aerial imaging. So, and I did a great. I shouldn't say that. I was privileged to do a job for Miss Laura Matthews down at that beautiful place down there in Taylor County, and it's the crap. I'm drawing a blank. Oak Orchard, Matthew Hill Oak Orchard. That's what it is. Matthew Hill Orchard. So it's a beautiful place. Beautiful place. If anybody's looking to have a big family reunion, a class reunion, really class A place, and Laura and her team have all the connections for all the caterers and all that stuff. They do it right, man. That place is beautiful. If you have a big family reunion, you can stay overnight. The main farmhouse is like a bed and breakfast type thing. And they got a carriage house. They got a bunk house. They got it going on, man. They've got it going on. And for any of my military friends, if you knew well, maybe not the military, y'all get out there and tear the shit up. All right, you can't do that. No fraternities and no military reunions because y'all probably break something. But anyway, check out our webpage. So it's the name of the company is Eptera Drone Imaging, and our webpage again is www.epteradrones.com. We do have a Facebook page. You can just Google it or look in Facebook, Eptera Drone Imaging. And we have a YouTube channel. Eptera has a YouTube channel as well. And you can see a lot of the stuff we put in there. All right. And I'll be happy to help y'all with any of your aerial imaging needs. All right, so now I'm going to go full politics. All right, I'm already at 32 minutes. I'm failing miserably. So I'm probably going to have to cut 2 of these off. Probably am. I got to wipe my eye. So probably going to have to take 2 of these off because I'm just too long already. So, and I will. I guess the protesting is somewhat winding down. Man, my phone just made a noise, and it occurred to me I didn't put it on silent. There we go. It's on silent now. But I guess the LA riots, they're not protests, they're riots. They're riots. Y'all, I could say a lot, and I know y'all could say a lot. It's not protesting. I don't think any of this crap that's going on, and this has been going on for years, this is not protesting. To protest means I disagree with something and I want my voice to be heard. Okay. And the whole hiding under the First Amendment of freedom of speech, and they say freedom of expression, y'all can call, you know what? I may be wrong. I do not, Jerry Daniels, I don't believe burning the U.S. American flag is an expression that should be tolerated. I don't. I've never been inclined to go out in my backyard and take a video of me burning the Mexican flag, the Cuban flag, the Venezuelan flag. That's just not my cup of tea. And you know what? Here's the reason it's done. If I were to go out in the backyard, take a video, and post it on social media, because that's what everybody does today. But let's just get social media out of it. If I walk down the damn street and put a Mexican flag in the street, squirted some lighter fluid on it, and lit it, what am I expressing? I'm expressing hatred. And really, that's not really what I'm doing. I'm doing it knowingly looking to stimulate an emotion. And it's being, if I were to do that, I'm just doing it to piss somebody off, hoping I'm going to get a damn reaction because the cameras are rolling. That's not, I just don't believe that's a freedom of expression. So I don't believe I don't believe that should be tolerated. First of all, and let's just say this. Let's say I was walking down the street and I'm pissed off and I just piled me some garbage and lit it on fire. That's arson. I don't have a burn permit. Nobody. And when if you get a permit to protest, I don't think there's a burn permit in there. As soon as somebody strikes a damn match and tries to get some combustibles on fire in a road, sidewalk, wherever, a park, they're starting a damn fire, deal with it, put it out, and arrest their ass. Just like that. Period. It ain't got nothing to do with freedom of expression, in my humble opinion. All right, so that's the part about burning crap. Second, the working people in this nation pay taxes. They say death and taxes are constant and they're certain to the day you die. So the working people are the ones who are paying the taxes, and we pay a lot of taxes. Now, granted, there's a lot of sales tax that covers what I'm about to talk about too, mostly roads. But here's my point. Public walkways, travelways, whether it's a county road, whether it's a city street, whether it's a state road, state highway, whether it's a federal highway, part of the freeway system, it doesn't matter. It don't matter if it's a driveway. It don't matter if it's the entrance into a parking lot. All those are public walkways and travelways. Walkways, sidewalks. If I can't walk down the damn sidewalk, to patron a business, just to travel from my hotel to a convention center, walk down the sidewalk just because I'm downtown and I want to go shopping, if I can't do that without being obstructed, people just in my face holding signs up and all that shit, y'all can come with y'all want to on this. That ain't protesting. That's agitating. And I'm tired of it, man. I mean, who tolerates this? You know, why should anybody not be able to make their damn flight, get to a doctor's appointment, get to a damn job interview, get to work? Because nut whack jobs under the First Amendment seem to think that they have the constitutional right to create such total chaos and disruption because they want to protest. Y'all, I'm going to call a spade a spade. That's bullshit. It's bullshit. I think everybody should write every congressman, every senator, and say, that's against the law. Start with your local representatives and say, I will not tolerate it. Now, the state of Florida's done well on this, man. That big dog sheriff down there and Governor DeSantis, they've made it very clear. And I told my daughter this years ago when all those frickin' Black Lives Matter shit was going on. And I'll tell anybody this, and I tell me and my wife this. If you're in an automobile and you slow down and your car gets surrounded by that mob, you're done. You're done. You will not do well when the windows are busted and you take a brick in the side of your head. Nobody's going to do well. You're done. You have lost the advantage. You're done. Flee. And the only thing, you're in an automobile, and people are doing it now. If you're driving a car, and as soon as you slow down and they get in front, you're done. Punch it. And people can ban me, take me off. I'm just telling you, if you want to be safe and you want to put your safety first, do not allow your car to be surrounded by a mob to the point where you're stopped. You will not make it. I'm just telling you. Safety first. Put your safety first, and you better damn save your ass. So, all right. And I'm not even going to get to the whole thing. Yeah, I will. I will. No, I will not. Yeah, I will. No, I've changed my mind. All right, and the other thing that's really ticking me off, I'm not going to go about these murders of these Minnesota lawmakers. I'll talk about that later because more's going to come out. I'll hold that one, so I'll scratch that one. The other thing is we've got certain folks, liberal Democrats, governors, they're liberals, and now they're all pissed off because the ICE agents and other agencies who are charged with the duties and responsibilities to go and apprehend illegal immigrants. Yes, they're criminals. Why? Because they came into the country illegally. Hence, they're criminals. So they're apprehending them, and they're catching them, and they're deporting them. And people are going, well, they need due process. Well, no, they don't, because they didn't follow due process to get in here. So why should they get due process to be out of here? It's just common sense, man. It blows me away when that whack job girl, whatever her name is, Jessica something, I don't know her last name. She is a buffoon idiot. God bless her. I don't care how many degrees she's got. I don't care if she's a lawyer. I don't care if she's a judge. I don't care anything about her. I just know what she says on TV. She's an idiot. And I feel sorry for her because it's hard for somebody to be that freaking gullible. Not gullible. No, she's just stupid. She's stupid. But she actually believes that, well, yeah, I'm okay with all these people. Millions of people being deported, but they got to have due process. Well, no, they don't. No, they don't, because they circumvented due process coming in. They don't get no due process going out. If you snuck in the back door, you get kicked out the back door. How about that? So, but anyway, so and now we got these folks saying, well, we're unhappy that, and it's unconstitutional, it's un-American, it's third world nation that the people that are apprehending them are wearing masks. Well, you know why? I mean, again, this is common sense. And I'm like, hello, wake up, McFly. They're wearing masks because you a-holes are doxing them. You are actually posting their pictures everywhere, and you're making it unsafe for them and their families. Who else? And that Boston mayor, whatever her name is, she's a socialist. She's like, I don't know of any other countries and cities that wear masks. Oh, girl, have you ever been to Mexico? Have you ever been to damn El Salvador? Have you ever been anywhere in those third world countries and you watch the police, who are vastly corrupt, but have you ever watched them do anything? They don't identify themselves because the corruption is so rampant, they'll be dead tomorrow. And sadly enough, the liberals have made portions of America look like third world countries. And it looks like third world countries because of them. They're wearing masks. It's because y'all have made it unsafe. Y'all disregarded law and order and respect for the law. You've done that. So the fact that they're wearing masks is because they're afraid of their safety. The reason they're afraid of their safety is because y'all have made it unsafe. It's as simple as that. It's not that complicated. It's not that complicated. I don't blame them. I'd wear a mask too. So, all right. That's all I got. I'm going to try to put some photos in here and maybe share something about the chickens. I wish I'd have taken a picture of Jasper holding that old girl down, but that didn't happen. I wasn't quick enough. So, and, lastly, already at 43 minutes. Damn it. Lastly, we have been visited by a bear, a young male bear, 3 times in a very short period of time. And he came, and then about 4 days later, he was here at 3:50 in the morning. And then 14 hours later, in broad daylight at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm sitting in my recliner watching the news, and I look up, and there's a damn black bear looking at me through my back door, my back sliding glass door, French doors. But there's a damn bear looking at me, and I thought, snap almighty, I got a bear in the backyard, but he's on the back porch looking at me. So I run his ass off. So let's just hope he don't come back. The honeybee area, the apiary, is surrounded in my garden by electric fence. So it deterred him before, but we'll see. All right, that's all I got. Hey, thank y'all again for listening. Please be mindful, especially on the YouTube thing, but subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please do that. Like it, Share it with folks, and please give me all the comments and the feedback that you can possibly do. I got to find the button here to stop the video. But I do appreciate y'all listening, and y'all have a great day. God is great, and it is great to be an American. So, Mike Coker, my great American, wake up, brother. I bet he's going to wake up. He's going to play. Mike Coker, you know what he's going to do today? He's going to play 18 holes of golf. He's going to drink some fine whiskey, and he's going to smoke probably 2 fine cigars. Bicycle.